So I just wanted to say that. Now, this video is a paid video for Tanzil. I seldom make videos on credit, but this is one. He has stated that he would pay me $50 to make a video about why Archie should join Watchbox. Why Watchbox should and would want Archie. Let me just put on this Quartz Timex Q. They came out with some new colors, by the way. I think this is the best one. Sort of a green and black bezeled version and a white dial version. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in Timex Qs. But anyway, should Watchbox hire Archie? And no, that wasn't the video. The video he commissioned was why Watchbox should. And ooh, that puts me sort of in a bit of a pickle, because then I have to first ask myself if they really should. Think of my video from yesterday. You know, should Rolex start making reissues of vintage? Okay, now I said in that video they shouldn't, but I would love for them to. And so I will say that I would love to see Watchbox hire Archie, and here's why. Why would they want to? Okay, so Tim Moss is very knowledgeable. He's very knowledgeable. I'm just stating the obvious here about watches. He's a great presenter, but it can be a little bit dry at times. If I'm not interested in the particular watch, then I'm not gonna really be watching the video, because he's pretty much the facts, just the facts, ma'am, about the watch. A little bit of a prediction on perhaps the collectability or desirability of the watch in the future, but he really acts as a mouthpiece for these watches in explaining them. So it can get a little bit dry. Now, why do I watch Archie? Why do I like Archie? Well, do I learn a lot from Archie? When it comes to Rolex, and that's what I like, these days, not a lot. He's gotten into Patek, and actually I've sort of absorbed some Patek knowledge. So I am kind of bits and pieces learning a little bit about Patek, and that's great. That's a bonus. But I watch Archie because I love the guy. He is really entertaining, funny, it's exciting. It's a whole community with the cardinal characters and everything, and it's the entertainment. The entertainment is why we go. And if we can get some watch knowledge along the way, or see some cool watches, or just talk some watches along the way, that's just the bonus. So if he were to bring that entertainment factor to Watchbox, it could really balance out Watchbox. Watchbox makes 6 videos tomorrow. Likely I'm not going to watch any of them, okay, unless it's perhaps about a watch that I'm interested in. But you put Archie in the mix and you've got that entertainment value, I'm going to watch all 6, even if it's a watch video that I'm not interested in. All right. Now, is Archie an influencer? Well, I can only speak for myself, but I discovered Archie in 2014, and by the end of 2014, I had 2 Rolex watches. Since then, I've spent more money on watches. So to say that Archie didn't influence me would be a gross understatement. I've spent thousands of dollars, and it's probably Archie's influence, and perhaps he's to blame. It's an addiction. Do you ever thank a person for an addiction? Probably not. But he allowed me to see the beauty of good watches and the draw of a good quality watch. And he can do that. He's an influencer for sure. So he probably should be considered. He really should, okay? Now, is he going to turn off customers? Look, Watchbox is in the... It's in the market to sell watches. Let's just be real about it. And that's part of why I think it's so boring. It's a bit like QVC for watches. Yeah, you get a lot of knowledge, but again, it can be a little dry at times, all right? But here's what I'm saying. Could he turn people off enough that sales drop? No, because the watches sell themselves. Look, I don't care if it's TGV himself that's selling a box and papers, unpolished, pre-ceramic Rolex. I mean, if I want the piece, I'm going to get the piece. I'd much rather give my money to somebody else who I like, but if he's got the piece I want the piece. And so the key is to get the people seeing the watches and asking themselves, do I want that piece? And Archie's certainly going to bring me to watch the content, and his viewers are definitely going to want to see the interaction between he and Tim Masso. On the Archie WhatsApp group, someone shared a conversation with a woman named Amanda, all right, and brought up ArchieLuxury as a potential person that Watchbox would want to work with. And you get the frustratingly dismissive LOLs. I couldn't help but think of when President Obama was taking questions from an audience, and the questions that were decided were voted upon. And one of the questions that got the most votes was about legalization, okay? Legalization of marijuana. And you know what he did? He did the old LOL. Laugh out loud. I think we'll talk about something serious today. And he totally just sidestepped it. People are serious about this, okay? About that. And they're serious about Archie coming on. I mean, I got the gist that Amanda's afraid it's not going to work out and it's going to be her ass. But look, I wouldn't dismiss it. I would seriously consider it. And so what exactly Watchbox would want to do is sort of up to them, but I think they at the very least, owe their viewers and Archie's viewers a chance to see them come together for maybe an audition or two or whatever. See if the chemistry works between Masso and Archie. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it wouldn't. But man, if it did, it could be firecrackers, all right? And it could be something great. And to not at least give it a shot, that's a pretty wuss move, all right? So Watchbox, so Brian Govberg, you should give it a shot. See if your viewers like it. It could work out. And if it doesn't, then at least you tried. And I tell you what, I would respect you greatly for trying, but not trying, not even entertaining the idea and pulling the dismissive LOL. We're more serious than that. It kind of makes you seem like a stuck-up corporate, you know, all about the money, dry. We're not into having entertainment. We're just into doing this QVC watch BS, okay? So you have a chance to really, I think, satisfy a lot of people by at least giving this an honest try to make it work. So hopefully that works. Thank you, Tan, for your money. And let me know what you think about all of this drama, about how you would like to see Archie on the Watchbox channel interacting with Tim Masso. Would he bring Tim Masso out of, I don't want to say his shell, but allow Tim Masso to be a little bit more likable and human and entertaining, and we'll never know if we don't see, but let me know what you think about it. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.
And yeah, it definitely, you could definitely tell the guy had some sort of pretentious sort of ideas, the way he went on. And I've noticed some other people criticise him for, you know, talking about the coming from aristocracy quite a lot. Obviously I'm English as well. I'm from the north of England, and if, basically, to be frank, if in England, if you're seen to be boasting coming from aristocracy, you're seen as somewhat of a cunt.
Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, new sponsor on the channel, APPSTANTIATE. Help get the most of your engineering and DevOps with APPSTANTIATE. APPSTANTIATE provides on-demand DevOps infrastructure, test automation, and continuous integration as a service with a focus on mentoring and hiring assistants to help engineering teams scale. They are experts in Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, and the latest open source utilities to help your company save time and money. Cost reduction in your hosting bills alone will pay for itself. In addition, the team is 100% onshore, New York City-based senior engineers. APPSTANTIATE will help you get most productivity out of your current stack and/or employee headcount. Email hello@appstantiate.com. Please email now hello@appstantiate.com for more information. ArchieLuxury, proudly supporting fantastic businesses. Hi guys, it's Paul Pluta on the Paul Pluta channel. And today, guys, I would like to address this video to my good friend Paul Thorpe. And I would also like to offer a very sincere apology. I want to apologize to the Thorpester. I want to bury the hatchet. I want to be friends with you, Paul. Let's run the intro and take a look. And don't forget, guys, make sure you subscribe to the ArchieLuxury corporate live streaming channel to be updated on all the live shows I do. Live shows! Okay, guys, Paul Pluta channel, the method actor who plays ArchieLuxury. Guys, today I'm making this video. I've seen a very angry Paul Thorpe on his channel, and he is not amused. He is not amused at all. And I would like to offer a very big apology. I want to say when I like to admit when I'm wrong, say I'm sorry. I'm always ready to offer my apology and say apologies and fix things up as they are needed. I would like to apologize to Big Charlie in C Block for the reference to prison tattoos. And I've got to tell you this, I have never in any of my videos mentioned that you have gone to prison. What the key wording was the quality of the tattoos was prison grade, prison quality tattoos. Now, I gotta tell you, Paul, you love Ferrari, you love racehorses, you love Range Rover, big country houses. I gotta tell you, Paulie, I gotta tell you, you've gotta hook up with my good friend, Studio City Tattoo. Studio City Tattoo. Studio City Tattoo. Now, Studio City Tattoo, they were on my fridge some time ago, but they're expired. It's expired. But I want to say, Paulie, get your ass over to Studio City Tattoo. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW.
Hello everyone. So, as the title suggests, I'm going to be talking about the Urban Gentry channel today, and a little bit more in depth about Tristano, who is the owner of that channel. Seems to be the owner, you can't be sure, but I'm pretty confident that he is. And as ever, we have the mascot, Sir Jimin's here, facing away at the minute, but a few of you have mentioned that you like seeing him on the videos, so there he is, he's here. So yes, the Urban Gentry. So this is a channel I've followed on YouTube for a number of years now, at least 2 I would say. and I like his videos because usually quite long, usually really well filmed. It can be very often quite, well, yeah, let's say they can often be very informative. And they discuss a range of watchmaking. They discuss the cheaper end, and they discuss the mid-range, and they discuss the upper range, and so on. And the other thing is, probably other viewers find this as well, it's quite nice sometimes to, you know, I quite enjoy long videos because it means you can sort of run it in the background and, you know, have something going on in the background, not need to constantly change it and all of that sort of thing. And yeah, it definitely, you could definitely tell the guy had some sort of pretentious sort of ideas the way he went on. And I've noticed some other people criticise him for, you know, talking about the coming from aristocracy quite a lot. Obviously I'm English as well. I'm from the north of England, and if, basically, to be frank, if in England, if you're seen to be boasting coming from aristocracy, you're seen as somewhat of a cunt, to tell you the truth. So I didn't, yeah, I wasn't thrilled by that bit so much. Yeah, it's not seen as a good thing in this country, so yeah, that is what it is. And he mentioned being partly Italian, which is what it is. Although I didn't used to like it when he used to speak in Italian on those videos. I didn't think that was very cool. I felt it was like an attempt at probably trying to make himself seem very cultured, when really people who speak two languages for a reason tend to use them when required and not mix them up, really. So I found that a bit interesting. Yeah. So that was, I mean, there was those really were the only two things which used to annoy me. But that's, you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm just a person. He's just a person. He doesn't, you know, it doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. But I liked his videos, so I carried on watching. Yeah, I like them. I'm not going to be one of those guys who denies they like them, and I think he probably has that compliment of most people. I think his videos are really well edited. They were pretty interesting, nicely filmed, really good quality, really often very good sound. Yeah, there wasn't, yeah, it was alright, wasn't it? It was alright. So, I think probably halfway through his YouTube career, we could say, some cracks started to show. The first was I started seeing more and more videos pop up, which were sort of, one of my favourite watch collector YouTubers is called Caseback Watches. It's a German guy called Tim, and he did an analysing TGV video, and I was like, whoa, yes, there are many things, very annoying things that I haven't picked up that he does. So, I mean, yeah, that didn't help, because a lot of people watch that video. A lot of people have watched that video, I should say, and that was pretty, yeah, that was interesting to see. And then came all of this stuff, the other YouTubers sort of coming out of the cracks again, saying, oh, I used to be Tristano's friend, and I feel as if he used me to climb up the ladder of being known. A few examples are ArchieLuxury, obviously one of my favourite watch YouTubers, said he was kind of very friendly with him, kind of used him for advice, used him for guidance, and then, you know, frankly fucked off when he was done with him. And you think, well, is that just an interaction of life? Sometimes that happens, sometimes people have disagreements, and yeah, and it doesn't work out. But then someone else would come out of the woodwork and would say, oh yeah, I used to be in Urban Gentry's Facebook group and I got kicked out for saying this. We're talking about things which are a matter of opinion here. And then, so that was a lot of people actually, and one pretty famous guy in terms of YouTube video making, he was kicked out there, and he went on a huge rant about him actually. So that was quite nasty. That was quite nasty. And then I heard, but I didn't see this happen, but I heard that Frederico from Frederico Talks Watches, and I think formerly from Watchbox as well, he was kind of stitched over by him as well, used him for, you know, gaining a lot of YouTube views, a lot of attention, and then threw him under the bus when he was done with him as well. To me, that's just an extremely psychopathic tendency, I would say. To do it once is bad, but to do it repeatedly is the sign of something wrong with you, I would say. And if you wanted to, you could probably find more information about those. I'm not going to go into detail about each individual case of this madness because I don't know enough, but I do know it happened, and it's quite easy to get there on YouTube. Then some really cool and interesting stuff started happening. So emails that ArchieLuxury was sent by him about infidelity with, you know, he's married, obviously they were about infidelity. That was quite interesting. We can't be sure it's true, but I can't imagine Archie would lie. That was interesting. So again, as I've said, it is what it is. We don't know the ins and outs and the details, but it's been mentioned. He mentioned, despite coming from the aristocracy, he was actually from a 50-50. His mother was rich, but his father was very poor. And if my story is correct, actually his father kind of robbed his mother, if that's true. The third thing Archie said was that apparently Tristano's act, the way he appears on videos, is completely an act, and is actually very cutthroat and is saying and doing things only for financial gain. And I have to say, I didn't get that impression from Tristano. But yes, that's what was said. Whether it's completely true is another matter, but I've got my own personal belief about the truth of that. The next thing is, well, really there's two things left to talk about. And the first is Tristano's famous Facebook group, UGWC. So I have been, and currently still am, a member of that group. And one of the reasons I'm putting this video up is because I want to see how long it is before I get removed for saying these things. Because that group is like an Orwellian insanity. If you say anything bad about somebody's watch, you basically get these kind of like snarky comments. Like, to be honest, let's be honest, right? If you say something bad about someone's watch, probably not a good idea. I don't do it personally. But you see people, it may be something as trivial as this. Maybe this watch here is a big piece. Maybe someone say that looks a bit big on you, and then you can find that you're banned from the group. Sorry. Really, really, really weird. And this is, by the way, this has happened to two of those people I mentioned earlier as well. Yeah, I believe if you try to use it to sell something, you can be instantly banned. So apparently Tristano also, you know, decides whether people can sell or not. Probably, I would think, I mean, it seems silly, doesn't it? If you're in a watch collecting group and people want to sell pieces, I don't really see what the problem is. Maybe it's the fact that he doesn't get any financial gain from it. That would be my personal belief. Yeah, it's policed by people who are not Tristano. That's really weird. That's like Stasi territory. That's like KGB level madness. So the guy doesn't even run his own Facebook group. It's kind of censored and monitored and policed by other people, who, by the way, I'd be surprised if they didn't work for the KGB, because they're kind of like, it's as if they've got their eyes set on this thing all day, every day. Yeah, and it's, to be frank with you, it's full of kind of miserable old twats, actually. Yeah, I think I've put a few yeah, I put a few pictures of watches up, and although I'm not wearing a small piece today, I usually like the quite small pieces, and somebody said something like, oh, my grandma would love that. Yeah, and I was thinking there's a few reasons why that's quite annoying. The first is, yeah, nobody likes to hear shit like that, but whatever. But the second is that if he knew anything about horology, he would know that the big watch face thing is basically a trend. It's not the way it's always been. In fact, for most of wristwatch history, pieces used to be smaller rather than bigger. So that was quite annoying. So first of all, he was discounting the fact that initially dress watches were pretty small. So I thought, it's clearly someone who doesn't know that much. So this group is made up of people who are basically not watch enthusiasts. They're buy-in watch enthusiasts. It's all about the buy-in. It's not about the. It's not about the provenance. It's not about the engineering. It's not about anything. It's not the rarity. It's just about the buying them and being able to say you have it. That's all it is with them. And a bit like Tristano, they don't really know much beyond that. So you'll see some really frankly cringy videos of Tristano doing interviews with people who are extremely clued up on watchmaking, and he kind of shrinks because he doesn't bother himself to learn reference numbers. He doesn't bother himself to, I mean, maybe that's a bit unfair because he talks about a lot of history. Watchmaking history seems to be quite important to him. So I mean, he does research the history of a company and whatever, but the actual mechanics of the piece itself and the reference numbers just hasn't bothered to learn them. But this is a guy who's been on YouTube for like a long time now, and it was his full income. Yeah, so that was weird. That was weird that he hasn't taken the time to actually learn these things, which you would think you would do if it was your hobby or your income. You think you would. So I mean, most watch references usually no more than 4 digits. Yeah, I don't get that one. I don't get that one. So yeah, he clearly took what he wanted from the watch industry, from the hobby, from the study of horology, and he just abandoned the rest as if it didn't matter. And to me, that's not a true enthusiast or a truly passionate collector. It's a bit like being a classic car collector and referring to every Ferrari as a Ferrari. Perhaps. Weird. But anyway, see now I've started going, I can't stop. There's so much. It's all weird. I mean, I feel bad because I want to put this video up because these videos are quite common at the minute, and I want to have my say. That's the only reason we put these up. But I also don't mean him any harm because I have actually enjoyed a lot of his videos, and I think he's good at editing. But I do think he's a bullshitter about the music industry. About him having worked in the music industry, because I do. And he didn't know what a Sennheiser was. So he was in an EDC, was displaying a set of Sennheiser phones. Sennheiser are used in pretty much every good recording studio in the world. The headphones, not the ones he had, not the in-ear headphones. The over-ear headphones are used in recording studios all over the world and for all kinds of music production. And he said he wasn't sure about the brand, and that's really unusual. That's really unusual. So it's really hard to know what's bullshit and what's real. That's the bit that's annoying, actually. So when you watch something like Archie, you can tell what's real. It's almost like a vlog rather than this polished bullshit, actually. And then, yeah, I want to see how long it takes before I get kicked out of Tristano's group for this. But I know Tristano won't do it himself. A bit like Stalin wouldn't pull the trigger. Or Hitler wouldn't pull the trigger, in fact. I know that Tristano's not going to be the one to pull the trigger. Because Tristan's removed himself from the peasant. He's removed himself from the proletariat, which is the, you know, running of his own group. He's removed himself. And because of the sheer fact that he was too lazy to learn and invest his time into learning the more intimate details, the more intricate details, I should say, of watchmaking, it means now that actually he's lost his job at Watchbox and he's decided his channel is done for. What else is there to say? That's what's happened, isn't it? If I were him, would I have done it any better? Well, I know I would have learned the reference numbers and wouldn't have spoke in a second language just for the sake of showing how cultured he was. I wouldn't have talked about aristocracy every 2 minutes, even if I was from it, knowing that most people see you as a prick if you do that. Especially when you try talking this talk of like, oh, actually, most of the time, mid-range or cheaper things are just as good. It's almost like, yeah, fucking pull the other one. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I'm sorry if you say this Tristano and feel like I've been nasty. I do think you're actually quite good at all the video side of stuff you do, but taking into consideration how you seem to have kind of used people and then cast them aside, the fact that you can't even appear in your own Facebook group, the fact you didn't bother yourself to learn the reference numbers and you know, intricate details when you had probably the best opportunity you were going to get from Watchbox, that's annoying. And you had this amazing platform, and you've went to the height that most people could never get and managed to lose it. And I think perhaps that might be karma for having thrown the people who helped you get there under the bus. So yeah, let me know what you all think below, but I will see you next time.